What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In the last video for today, we're hopping into DC Comics Absolute Power issue number 2. Now at this point, Amanda Waller's won. Together with Failsafe and the Brainiac Queen, the Wall and her Trinity of Evil marched across the planet. They robbed metahumans of their abilities, leaving them both heroes and villains alike broken, powerless, imprisoned. Those few who managed to evade capture, they hide in the shadows. But not all is yet lost. Though Superman lies gravely injured, the remaining heroes have been summoned to the Fortress of Solitude. They now plan their counterattack to the Trinity's overwhelming attacks. But what they did not know is that not even the fortress could protect them. So make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we pick up at Amanda Waller's Hall of Honor in Washington, D.C. We see on the giant screen heroes from across the globe, many of them blocked out in red. Over 80% of Earth's superheroes have been depowered and incarcerated. The problem is, the remaining 20% include the biggest fish yet to be caught, and they have all gone underground. Now, the Brainiac Queen, she recommends going after companions and loved ones, but Amanda Waller says that that is too much, that those are humans and civilians, and their goal is to protect them, that she's not a sociopath. But even Failsafe and Dreamer look at each other like, what is this lady talking about? But as she sends everybody out on mission, we pick up at the Fortress of Solitude, with Superman getting into his black suit. This containment suit is really the only thing that's holding him together right now. But he is so focused on finding John, assuming that Amanda Waller has him. He's freaking out. Batman tells him that he's gotta relax. Oracle's doing her thing, they're trying to figure things out, but right now, everyone is powerless. Safety in numbers is paramount. They've been able to assemble anybody that they could find. But as everybody begins to argue, Mr. Terrific and Batman, Wonder Woman, everybody trying to figure out who should be leading everything going on. This is what happens when you disband the Justice League. But that's not to say that there isn't leadership in this room. This is when Nightwing gets the attention of everybody. The Justice League stepped down so he could step up. That's exactly what he's doing. This is where he gives them the plan. The Titans are still standing. They are still capable. That Amanda Waller thinks that this is going to make them run and hide. That their strength was always their powers, which was never the case. She will never recognize the will and the commitment of each and every one of them to protect the helpless and fight against injustice and tyranny, regardless of the odds. He says that this will be her downfall. They have to run under the radar, which means they're gonna break down into small teams. Most of the Titans are still powered, at least for now, so they're gonna run defense. If there's a mother box out there, he tells Batman to find it. That is the key to accessing the power of the new gods, telling Superman that the multiverse is full of allies. Go find them. Then he tells Canary and the others that Green Arrow is working for Waller. That gives her enormous information. Locate him, retrieve him, bring him back home. Damian and Wonder Woman teaming up, they're gonna go find out where Waller is keeping the prisoners, and they're gonna break them out. Superman telling Nightwing that this place is impregnable. There's no way of getting in, so this will be their base of operations. Telling everybody to grab any of the weapons that they have in this facility and use them. That this place has a secret emergency weapon if absolutely necessary. More than that, Batman and them had created tactical suits. Ones for the Justice League and with some surprising upgrades. If everyone's patient, they're gonna replicate additional gear. As we see the Justice League completely suited up. This is when everything went sideways. With a fiery explosion, the Fortress of Solitude had been breached. One word said, surrender. Coming in the door, we have John Kent, but he's been changed. He's been augmented. He's been assimilated. He has become the ultimate version of both Brainiac and Superman, and he is under the control of the Brainiac Queen. Amidst the chaos of the flames, of the surprise attack, There was a moment of silence, an absolute quiet, and then all hell breaks loose. Everything goes up in flames. Our heroes try to fight against the Brainiac Queen, but they can do nothing to her. Superman, in a confused state, not understanding how the Brainiac Queen is even here. She quickly is grabbing heroes and throwing them into portals. One by one, the forces are being diminished. And Superman trying to reach his son, trying to talk to him, trying to figure out how to break this. But nothing is breaking in. And if things couldn't get any worse, we have the arrival of the Amazos. One has breached the fortress, and he begins to drain. But when one of our heroes cut him in half, using a sword of magnificent power, the Amazo is able to self-repair. It begins to self-heal, and then a green energy begins to come from its hands. Batman sees that energy. He knows that energy signature, but he's not sure where it comes from. Now, there is so much going on. Wally West on the Flash bike holding kryptonite. Batman using ultrasonics on the Amazo. Blue Beetle and Mr. Terrific grabbing the Phantom projector. And then we have Dreamer in the background. Now, she was sent here by Amanda Waller. We don't know what her mission exactly is, but she's not happy about being here. But with Superman rushing over to John, it seems like John has gotten his consciousness just for a moment, and he tells his father that there's a way to end it, that all he has to do is join them. That's when he grabs his father, and it's almost like the Brainiac technology starts to try and take over Superman. And then the Brainiac Queen is over there holding a miniature city, the Bottle City of Kandor, one which contains thousands of tiny Kryptonians inside. And they have all just been broken free, and they start attacking the Brainiac Queen. She doesn't even know what's happening because little tiny Kryptonians, thousands of them, are just knocking her parts loose. Off to the side, we see the Flash grabbing hold of John, kryptonite in hand. But with a giant explosion, Blue Beetle and Mr. Terrific able to get a portal open to get them out of here. The Brainiac Queen using red solar energy against the tiny Kryptonians that are around her, with all of our heroes having an exit. The tiny Kryptonians being their Hail Mary pass. Superman initiates self-destruct. As all the heroes evacuate, they grab hold of Superman, the Brainiac Queen having him, the countdown going. And this is when Dreamer has had enough. Seeing what happened to John Kent was the last straw. She is done being Amanda Waller's puppet, done being her plaything, that she refuses to play along any longer, telling Amanda Waller that if you're listening, to go F yourself. Superman being able to break free and get into the portal, we see the Fortress of Solitude go up in flames, and John Kent standing on the outside. For a moment, it appears that John is still in there. But even in all the chaos, the Brainiac Queen has come forth. John Kent still may be alive inside, but she is still controlling him. The Brainiac Queen still has full control over him. No matter where they run, they cannot hide from the Kryptonian. Now, Queen doesn't know what happened to Dreamer. They're gonna try to keep it that way. Right now, he's busy cataloging all the weapons took from the Justice League archives. The truth is, Amanda Waller and them, they have no idea what most of these weapons are. Oliver Queen, on the other hand, does. But this might have been one of their biggest mistakes. Cause Oliver Queen, with access to the Justice League's armory, could be the downfall of Amanda Waller all by itself. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Now, I personally loved it. Fantastic issue. Poor John Kent. Look how they massacred my boy. The Brainiac Queen turning him into a living Kryptonian weapon. A cyborg Superman on crack. Now the question is this permanent? Will Jonathan Kent always be part Brainiac, part Superman? Is this his fate? Is this destined to be where he goes? If it is the case, you could arguably say that it would make him the most powerful Superman that would ever exist, especially given time for his Kryptonian powers to reach their full potential, which we have yet to fully see. We already know that he can take every last drop of solar energy that he has stored and use it in one punch, though this completely drains his physiology, now enhanced with Brainiac by the Brainiac Queen. There's nothing to say that that charge would drain him any longer, that the Brainiac part, the cyborg part, would take over and keep his body from going limp. He would have just depleted his solar radiation. But the Fortress of Solitude, the place that has stood for so long, has been destroyed. One of the last safe havens. We don't know how many heroes were scooped up by Amanda Waller, but now they're all on the run again. Who knows where they were dropped off? Who knows where they landed? But there is still so much hope alive. It's also worth noting that in this comic, they're talking about the powers that the Amazos absorb. They steal the magic, the metahuman powers, but it appears that they're taking these powers and depositing them somewhere. So they're almost like bees going out for pollen, the pollen being superpowers, mystical powers, and magic alike. They gather it and they bring it back to the hive. We don't know what they're depositing it into. We don't know for what purpose. Maybe because that's how they want to power the mother box. Maybe that's how they're powering things. Maybe the mother box is powering something and it needs to be fed. We know that the Brainiac Queen requires tremendous power. And so while it seems like Amanda Waller has limitless power, that's simply not the case. But what is the ultimate end goal? What is the ultimate weapon that she is charging up? Side note that has nothing to do with this comic, I saw the solicitations for DC versus Vampires World War V. That's right, we have the return of DC versus Vampires, arguably the best Elseworld story DC Comics has ever told. My biggest video on this channel with 300,000 plus views. If you have not been keeping up with DC versus Vampires, I highly recommend you go check out that video, because this 12-issue series that is coming up, that is World War V, it promises to be next level. Now, so let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you want to get caught up on everything that is going on in this series, go ahead, check out the link in my description, as well as the top of this video. It'll get you completely caught up on everything that is going on with DC Comics' absolute power. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership, much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, but you're getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you're unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.